All right, let's now move on to the next section. Now we're going to talk about how all of this comes together into the RV spiral of death. So we have our 3 princess physiology principles. 1, your RV is easily offended by mistakes. 2, it crumbles at the first sign of resistance. And 3, it feels entitled to constant perfusion. Now, these things all come together in a vicious cycle, and it's not just one cycle, it's sort of vicious cycle upon cycle that I call, or I didn't even come up with this myself, we'll say, the RV spiral of death. Let's talk through it step by step. Often, this starts with increased RV afterload, because that's just a big thing the RV can't handle. Now, when the RV afterload is increased, we drop RV contractility, because the RV just can't push against that high afterload. When that happens, our RV volume starts to come up because the RV can't push the volume forward, so it starts to back up, the RV starts to blow up. Now, when our RV contractility drops, we drop our right ventricular cardiac output. Now, it's taken 2 hits here because we have low RV contractility, but that lower contractility is still trying to push against that higher afterload, and if the RV is not giving the LV anything to work with, that drops the LV preload. But often the LV preload takes a second hit here, which is, as the RV volume goes up, we have that diastolic filling competition, and the left ventricle starts to lose. Because now that RV's blowing up, we have all that volume in there, and we get that septal shift. We get that intraventricular septum mashing down on the LV. That ultimately makes the LV this very small, tight, highly pressured receptacle for volume that can't receive volume very well, and that further drops our LV preload. Now, when our LV preload drops, what happens? Our cardiac output goes down, because now the left ventricle is not giving the blood to the body to work with. So our LV cardiac output drops. What happens? Our MAP drops. When our MAP drops, now we're in trouble, because now we start dropping our right ventricle coronary perfusion pressures. And we start getting ischemic, right? Because our coronary perfusion is down. We don't have enough MAP. And so our oxygen supply starts dropping. But we have another issue, because remember, our RV afterload is high. And that is going to mean that the other end of that, so our sort of, blood pressure, rather than the coronary artery supply being 120/80, maybe it's now 90/40. But on the other end, the right ventricle systolic pressures are now high. So that further drops that perfusion pressure gradient, and those high systolic pressures increase oxygen demand. Why? Because now we have increased wall tension, as does the increased RV volume. Increased oxygen demand by increased wall tension, increasing RV ischemia. So now you can see this vicious cycle, it's not just one thing. It's vicious cycle upon vicious cycle that propagate each other, which is why we call it the RV spiral of death. And it turns out that any one of our 3 etiologies, pressure overload, volume overload, and decreased contractility, can be an entry point into this RV spiral of death. And once you're in it, it can be very hard to get your patient out.